Hi and welcome to Afternoon Tea. This is our 11th episode. Wow. And today we want to talk about the important or most important things. What is wrong with your child? No, not really. Um,
It's gonna be a long episode.
uh, it is to kind of bust the myth that, when we're raising our kids or raising a family, that we have to fix people. We have to make things right and we have to do things right. And uh, something that I have really worked on and benefited from, and in my family, and even in conversation with Shawn, who will add his perspective to it as well, that it really comes down to us, this person, individual, who we are. And really, if we want a better family and we are responsible for our family, we need to take care of ourselves. And not just take care of ourselves, we need to actively cultivate ourselves. Cultivate to be that person who we can admire, who we do admire. And so to kind of tease out the space of guilt and always falling short and always trying to run after and trying to do the right thing that's always changing in this changing world and changing technology and the changing kids. Um, and often we start to doubt. I mean, I've seen doubt ourselves. I've doubted myself. Am I crazy? Am I asking something completely unrealistic here? You know? Um, so let's talk about cultivating ourselves. Shawn, how do you find yourself seeing this perspective? And I understand you've been doing a lot of these things lately too, yourself. So how do you see this?
Yeah, I think a lot of it just comes down to knowing yourself and looking inward instead of outward. I think I did that for the longest time. I looked for the answers outside myself, didn't trust myself with a lot of things. So kind of like being a people pleaser and stuff, you just kind of like that chameleon being, just in different rooms, being a different person and stuff. And it's really hard to be authentic and be yourself when you feel like you're putting on a bunch of hats and everything and you're not really trusting who you are. One of the things that helped me a lot too is just, like I said, going inward. And as corny as it sounds, we need to love ourselves. I know people
Mm,
talk about that, but I think, we really have to love ourselves, respect ourselves, try to be our authentic self as much as possible. And that can be hard because there's a lot of vulnerability that comes with it at times. But I think to your point, like when you know yourself, you show up as yourself, and then I think the expectations are understood.
mm-hmm. You mean between ourselves and other people, our kids, our family,
Yeah, I
mm,
think because you're kind of living who you are, right?
mm-hmm.
You're kind of like the same across the board to everyone that you meet, and it's just kind of like it's kind of the foundation of who you are. You're not just kind of showing up as someone different every time. And I think that's important just to have that foundation and that clarity and that consistency around people. I think that's important.
Yeah, I mean, being authentic, being yourself. And, one of the things I've seen, and um, I was at a new parent event, it's new parent or soon to be parent event. And also in conversation with several um, families, there is currently, and this is a trend I'm seeing, is a trend or this, maybe it's been there in different forms, but it's kind of more prevalent now to go looking for what is it that I need to do as a parent. What is out there? That's what I need to do. And in my experience, that okay, I can show up as myself, and maybe as myself, I need to see something that's outside me to learn something about this new role that I'm going to play, or new stage of life that I have to address to as a teenager, as a college going student, or just graduating my child from my home to preschool, just different stages. Um, but who I am is also going to change. And regardless of what those changes are with my kids or other family, my other relationships. So, for example, one of the things I am working on is I feel grumpy when I wake up in the morning. So, for self cultivation, I think one of the things that I've been working on, now it's been years that I've been working on it, but at least I'm a lot more aware of it. Then I will wake up, I'll be grumpy, and someone says something, and I'm not pleasant to them. So, So that's the part that I've moved. And that's the part, no matter what anyone says or does, it shows. It's just there. It's part of me that I've been working on this, that this is not something that I take lightly because that's my self cultivation. I want to get, even if don't get happy and smiley every single day, but at least I don't want to be in that space. And show up like that in my life for me, forget everybody else. And that starts to set a tone, I feel, for people and events around us.
I definitely think it does set a tone. I always try to teach Aaron, like when I'm in a bad mood, I try my best not to take it on anybody else because it's my mood. It's like, why should I be a jerk to you just because I'm in a bad mood? So I always try to stay level headed about that when I'm around other people to keep my emotions in check and not dump it on somebody else because that's not fair, first and foremost. So that's something, and it's just, I also feel like it's responsibility for our own feelings. It's that awareness too. It's like when someone tells me, you're making me angry. It's like, I can't make you angry. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. There's that awareness in yourself that, okay, why am I angry? Why am I angry at my dad? Why am I angry at this person? You know, but no one seems to take that time. It's much easier to say I'm angry at you than it is to take the time to figure out what's going on inside you.
Yeah. And I feel that those inner workings, now whether it's a grumpy or bad mood or is something like I know that if I am taking care of something, I will be really methodical about it. I will have steps to get things done and it will be done well. Something say simple as prepare a meal. I will plan it, I will make it, and I will take care of the process after the meal is made too. I mean, it's a process. Um, so just knowing that in myself, that makes me feel good about me. I need to know that. I need to know that this is what I can do, this is what I want to change or cultivate, this is what I am good at, and this is what I bring to the table. But a lot of times I feel that in playing the roles that we play and then wanting our kids or families to turn out, because our identity starts to depend on the outcomes of people around us. We're so invested in raising the family that attention can go away. Not that we're trying to not pay attention to ourselves, but it does happen. There's a lot of things going on, and it's easy to lose sight of what is it that I expect out of myself. And once I can expect that out of myself, I will have less doubt and confusion in expecting things from my kids, from my family, and more confidence in who I am. And that when I need to grow, I can grow because I'm constantly on that cultivation, cultivating myself, cultivation channel path. And I
No,
don't say, yeah,
no,
go
please
ahead.
go.
I,
No, I totally agree with that. I think my path came much later in life, like I said, and that's kind of why I do what I do now with the coaching and everything. Is I'm very much into a learning and growth state, and learning to feel uncomfortable a lot and try different things and interact with other people that I wouldn't have interacted with before, but knowing that that's there to help me to move me to the next level. And the whole point of it is, you know, putting yourself first isn't selfish. It's figuring out who you are. If I, once again, it's the whole, pouring for an empty cup. If my cup is empty, I'm really not good to anyone else. You put the mask on yourself first in the plane before, because if I pass out, I'm no good to anybody, right? So the whole point is put yourself first, and it doesn't mean it's selfish. It just means, and you're also modeling this for the people around you. You're modeling it for your partner, your kids, all of this stuff. If they see their parent, their friend doing all these things, it might even elevate them to look at their lives a little differently too. And you might lose some relationships and you might gain some relationships, and that's okay too. I mean, there's a lot of fear when we feel we're going to lose something, but if it's not resonating with helping you out, then you're not really losing anything. But we're just we cling on to things so tightly that we don't want to lose anything, but we have to get to that state of awareness first.
I want you to say a bit more about what you just said. That's really important. And the piece that I wanted to stress on, and this is for all of you here listening to us, is that this conversation that we're having about cultivating ourselves and really walking in, knowing ourselves more and more, like me knowing me more, helps my family. That does not mean there will not be conflict. That does not mean our families are perfect, but it does save us from a lot more hurt than we need to bear. It protects us first. So it's a real big safety mechanism, you know, no hurting or less hurting. Not less hurting is what I would say. And also more resolution. Because when we walk in with that self cultivation, we can give grace to others too, because we can see ourselves and say, well, I can't even do this. So
Yeah,
there's
so
more
true.
resolution. And and lastly, we serve to grow. We don't serve to create a model that's perfect, prim. We serve each other in the family to grow. And this is the most important thing that happens when we cultivate ourselves. And Nimble Futures, when we start with finding your genius, that's the workshop that you will walk into. But that's what we do first. Most important, find yourself. What is it that makes you you? And you are very special. And the thing I want to bring Shawn you to, kind of just explore more about what is that coaching that you do and what is this fear of losing that you talked about?
Well, I think we're always afraid, like growing up, I was always afraid of losing friends and whatnot. So I would cling on to things that, even though people were moving ahead, they were moving on with their lives, I was still holding on to the past because I didn't really know how to move forward. So that was part of my journey. Once again, it was looking outside myself, not trusting myself to really what I wanted. And there's so many other factors that go into the backstory
Mm-hmm.
of all of this. But now, and one of the things that you said a second ago, which I was awesome, seeing empathy for other people too, is especially for guys, for men, that we need to give ourselves more grace. We need to cut some slack on ourselves. And once you're able to do that for yourself, then I think you could truly can see the grace in other people and cut them some slack too, and not, you know, be so quick to judge other people as well. So, my path right now is just about empowering the individual and figuring out your priorities and what are your values and everything, setting those healthy boundaries. And my daughter's 17, so like she's moving on to a next phase of life. I'm in my next stage of life too. You know, working with middle-aged men, we're always in a transition, like you said. We're always moving, But some people are always stuck in one phase and they may never get out of it. And so, part of that is just helping them really see what's going on and, being part of the community and just supporting each other. That's really what it's all about.
Thank you. And with this, I want to bring this episode to a close, but I want to leave you with the thought of what is it? What is the transformation that you want to invite in your life today, now? And if any of what we have said today resonates with you, we want to hear from you because our journeys matter, we matter, you matter, and the only place it's going to change and we can see a different world is when we work with ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care, everyone.